Alright guys, quick video tuning up the Tahoe. It's a 03 Chevy Tahoe with a 5.3 liter V8. Doing plugs, coils, and wires. Here's the go with the NGK iridiums. There's the part number there. NGK coils. Part number there. This one has the round coils. I'll show you there. As you see. And the plug wires. Part number there. So these plug companies say they come gapped, and they're close, but they're not perfect. So I gapped and anti-seized the plugs. I don't want them seizing up. I don't care what the manufacturer says. I don't care about their coating. Anti-seize, 30% less torque. It calls for 11 foot-pound. So we're going to go with 8 foot-pounds of torque with anti-seize, and it'll be fine. So I'm starting with, oh yeah, here's the cylinder firing order. I don't know why people don't show this stuff in their videos. They want to talk about what the dog did last week and the old lady and just get to the facts. Firing order. So we're starting with number 8. This is a passenger side bank. From the front to the rear goes 2, 4, 6, 8. We're starting with 8. I'll show you a couple little tips and tricks that I do. I've already got the coil pulled off. That back screw is a booger, and we're going to show you a little trick to minimize future issues with that and worrying about dropping the little screw in the engine bay. We'll fix that up. And getting to the plugs, quite a pain, so we'll use a short extension for that and be very careful. Alright guys, this will be designated my number 8 bank coil pack. So what I'm going to do is take a hacksaw and cut out a little notch in the end of that where you can still get it under the flange of the head of the fastener, but to where you don't have to fiddle around and take it all the way out to remove it, because you can't get your hand down in there hardly. And once I do what I'm going to do, then all you'll have to do is just loosen the fastener and slide that tab under it. Why the engineers couldn't figure that out and do it? Well, they could. It costs another couple cents to do it. That's why they don't do it. But we're going to fix it up so it will relieve future issues on maintenance and make it a little quicker on me. Alright guys, here's a modified coil. You can see what I did there. Cut that tab with a hacksaw and filed it smooth and painted it with some spray paint. Now I'll just rip my paper towel off, and then that will allow that tab to slide up under the fastener head. So you don't have to take it all the way out and then worry about dropping it down in the engine bay and losing it. Alright, there's another look at the modified coil without the towel around it, protecting the thing from getting overspray on it. But anyway, that'll make life easier if we ever have to take that coil off again. See that back hole there? Can't get your hands to it. You can barely get a small ratchet on it. I used a 1/4 inch with a deep well 7mm to get that off. Alright guys, I got the number 8 plug cap off. Next thing I'm going to do is a little air around the plug hole, keep from getting any crap down in the head. Guys, on the number 8 bank, I got a real short, it's a 1/2 inch to 3/8 extension with a 5/8 inch spark plug socket on it. And between the dipstick tube and these hoses and stuff, you can't hardly get your hands on it. Look down there, as far as you can see, below the dipstick tube is the end of my extension. I'll zoom in here for you. And it probably won't focus. Of course not. Anyways, right in the center of the black thing, you see it. Not focusing. There we go. So now I'll try to get the ratchet head on it and work it out. It's a pain in the butt. Alright guys, I got the ratchet head on it. As you can see, it's not engaged on the socket. I don't want it to. I don't want it to get hung to where I can't get my ratchet out. But this is number 8. This engine is cold. I recommend doing it on a cold engine so the aluminum doesn't expand, aluminum heads. But I'll go on and thread it the rest of the way out with the ratchet as far as I can and grab it by hand. Alright guys, I think I figured that number 8 out, or at least a way I can better access it. So I'm pretty tall, 6'5", and at my height, to finagle my left arm down through there to be able to thread that plug in there, you can see the end of the socket there hiding in behind that heat shield in the center of the screen. But in order to finagle my arm in there, my height, it's all screwed up, and if I get on a tall step stool, it's still screwed up. But I got this just a ramp, and I stood on it, man. It puts me at the perfect height where I can get my hand on it good. So I looked at going through the firewall. My hands are so big, I still don't think I could get through the firewall with my arm and be able to thread that plug in by hand, which is the most critical thing, to make sure you don't cross thread it. Whatever you do not cross thread them plugs. Alright guys, here's that number 8 cylinder plug that come out of there. It was an AC Delco plug. Vehicle's running pretty good, but it's got a little bit of a miss in it, and I swear I don't know if this boot was on good or not, because it just popped off with no resistance whatsoever. So I'm not sure if it's down over it, just barely touching it or what. I don't know if that's what was giving me the miss or what, but we'll figure it out hopefully. Alright guys, this combination here, which is just a 1/2 inch to 3/8 inch Harbor Freight drive to a 3/8 inch drive, 5/8 inch spark plug wrench, gave me the perfect length to get to that number 8 plug on the 5.3 with Tahoe 2003. Perfect length with a 1/2 inch ratchet. Alright guys, I got a mirror down in there. You can see the plug hole reflecting in the mirror. So I blew it out around there. It looks like there's still a little bit of funk around there, but I'm going to try my best not to get any of it in there. Alright, I think I figured it out. 15mm bolt on the dipstick tube. See if we get that bad boy out of our way, we can get that plug in easier, and I get this big meat hook back in there where you can't reach. So we'll move that 15mm. Alright guys, looking in the mirror, see the plug here in the center of the mirror. I was able to get it all on by hand, and it went all the way in. Let's see if I can move it here. See a little bit better. There it is. That's on that number 8. It's a pain in the butt. But I got it on by hand, and I did have to end up loosening the dipstick and just kind of finagled it out of the way as best I could. But anyway, couldn't film it in action because of no camera person. But that's it. It's in there, and we're golden. Alright guys, I got that number 8 plug torqued down. Calls for 11 foot-pounds. I got an inch-pound wrench and 3/8 drive, and reduced by 30%. So I torqued it to 96 inch-pounds, so 8 foot-pounds. Got a Craftsman 3/8 drive, 5/8 spark plug socket, and a Harbor Freight Icon 3/8 inch extension. This is, I think, 1.5 inches long. Between 1.5 inches and 1 3/4 inches will work. I got that torque down. Alright guys, just to show you something that'll help you out a lot. Got a set of these Pittsburgh, the plug wire tools. I think it came in with like a set of 2 or 3 of the pliers here, but anyway, it'll help you out tremendously. Grab it around the top of the coil there, and just drive back and forth and side to side, and there we go. And just do the same on the plugs. 03 Tahoe 5.3 liter. This is the driver's side. The only obstruction really, it looks like it's going to inhibit the ease of getting the plugs out would be this bracket here. It's 10 millimeter, looks like 2 bolts. I'll pull it off and get it out of the way. And it should be a lot easier getting to this side. Focus, but anyway, you got it. Alright guys, 03 5.3 Tahoe. See in the mirror there, that's the number 4 plug. I just got the mirror down there to make sure the plugs was started correctly and going in correctly, and I got it turned all the way by hand, as I'd recommend doing with all the plugs before you put the final torque on. Alright guys, here is the mirror down. Let's see if I can find it. On cylinder 2, I'll just show you how clean it is around the plug hole where I blew it out there. Let's see if I can move it to where you can see it better. There we go. Alright guys, 03 Tahoe 5.3 liter. Here's that number 8 coil I modified. See the notch cut out. So you're not going to be able to see me working on the thing, but you see the screw, I got it screwed in there. The little bolt back here, 8 millimeter. Excuse me, 7 millimeter. Right there in the center of the screen. I can just slide the tab. Just slide the tab under the little bolt head, and then it'll hold the coil in place to where you're not trying to reach back in there where you can't get hardly and dropping screws and stuff. So this makes it a whole lot easier. So right now I'll just slide the little tab under the head there, plug it up, and fasten it down. Right there's the number 8 coil. I'm not sure if you can see that fastener in the back. There you go. You can see it now. But I've got the tab under the head. I'll thread in the other little 7 millimeter bolt, torque it down to 71 inch-pounds. Alright guys, there's a little trick. Get that fastener to hang on that socket. A little smidgen of blue towel in between the head and the socket itself, and you're not dropping your fasteners. I'll show you here. Enough to get me going. And I'll torque her on down. I got all the plugs put in. These are the factory insulators there. I pulled them out. They're pretty grimy. I cleaned them up and soap and water and hit them with a little bit of flitz and polished them up a little bit best I could. And getting ready to put the wires on. I got the plugs pulled out, put back in and torqued down. Coil packs off. We'll go on and put the coil packs back on. I modified that rear one on this driver's side too. just like the passenger side, to make it easier to take off in the future. Alright, tune-up's done. Plugs, wires, coils, both sides, tightening everything up. Just double checking the engine bay to make sure I got all the tools out. Make sure you hook your dipstick tube back up. It has been. Everything's torqued. 71 inch-pounds on the coil packs. 11 foot-pound on the spark plugs. But because I use anti-seize, I used 8 pounds, reduced 30% with anti-seize. So, should be good to go.